I always knew I wasn't the favorite in my family, but the way they treated me at my brother's graduation cemented it in a way I could never forget. From the moment we were kids, my parents compared me to him. He was the golden child, the one who excelled at sports, earned praise at school, and got every ounce of support they had to give. I wasn't lazy or untalented, but no matter what I did, it was never good enough. When I graduated, they barely showed up. My dad left halfway through my ceremony, and my mom spent most of the time on her phone. There was no celebration, no dinner afterward, not even a "we're proud of you." But when my brother's graduation came, they rented a hall, invited every distant relative, and acted like it was the most important day of their lives. I didn't want to go at first. I knew how it would be, me sitting in a corner while everyone praised him like he'd won a Nobel Prize. But some part of me wanted to see if maybe, just maybe, things would be different. Maybe my family would notice me, acknowledge me, even for a moment. So I went. As soon as I walked in, I realized I was right. No one greeted me. My parents didn't even look in my direction. I sat at a table by myself while relatives asked me to move so they could sit closer to my brother. They called him the future of the family and toasted to his success. Not one word was said about me or my achievements. The humiliation burned, but I stayed quiet. I didn't want to cause a scene. I thought I could just get through the evening unnoticed, then leave. But then, out of nowhere, everything shifted. The doors to the hall opened, and in walked my bodyguard. A tall, intimidating man in a dark suit with an earpiece, scanning the room like a professional. People's heads turned immediately. Murmurs spread through the crowd. My brother stopped mid-conversation, and my parents froze. He walked straight over to me and said, "Everything is secure, sir. Do you want me to wait outside or stay nearby?" Every eye in the room was suddenly on me. The brother they had ignored, the one who wasn't worth a second glance, now sitting there with a professional bodyguard at his side. I simply nodded to him and said, "Stay close, but give me space." The room went dead silent. For the first time in my life, I was the one everyone was looking at. Questions started flying. Why do you have a bodyguard? What do you do now? Is everything okay? My parents' faces turned pale, my relatives leaned in, whispering like I was some mystery they had never bothered to solve. I didn't explain much. I just smiled faintly and continued sipping my drink. What they didn't know was that the company I had started years ago, the one they mocked as a waste of time, had grown into a multi-million-dollar business. Security was a necessity now. I traveled often, met with high-profile clients, and yes, I needed a bodyguard. But I didn't need to tell them any of that. What mattered was the shift. The same people who ignored me now scrambled to make conversation, to ask about my work, to act interested in me. My parents tried to smile, tried to pretend like they had always supported me. My brother, who once smirked at my failures, looked uncomfortable under the weight of the attention he had just lost. I didn't rub it in. I didn't brag. I simply stood up, adjusted my jacket, and said calmly, "I'm glad I came. Enjoy the rest of your night." My bodyguard opened the door for me as I walked out, leaving behind a room full of stunned faces. On the drive home, I realized something important. I had spent years chasing their approval, waiting for them to see me, to value me. But in that moment, I understood I didn't need it anymore. Their opinions had no power over me. I had built a life they couldn't even imagine, and the look on their faces when they realized it was enough closure for me. Sometimes silence is louder than words. And sometimes walking away with dignity, while others finally recognize what they lost, is the greatest revenge of all.